today from LFS News. I'm Tad Palon, and here's Casabel Gas with the news report all the way from Lent High School for National Science Fair 2018.
Good morning, Ted. Good morning to all the viewers. Today, here at Lent High School, a stunning event is happening. Get your heads up for the National Science Fair 2018. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Casabel Gas from LFS News. We would like to interview you. Would that be fine?
Of course.
So first, why don't you guys introduce yourself to us?
Hi, I'm Faith Midway and I'm a student from the high school.
So guys, saan ba yung booth nila?
I don't know. Let's ask them. Fake window eh. Kumusta ba yung mood mo?
Well, napili namin ang natin para sa scientific topic namin, this National Science Fair 2018.
Can you explain to us what nothing is?
Of course, but first, would you like some ice cream?
Okay.
Please hold out your hand. May I?
Okay.
Gus, di ba gusto mong malaman kung ano yung melting? Ito, i-explain ko sa'yo. Melting is a physical process that results in the change of a substance from a solid to a liquid. As you can see, yung ice cream sa kamay ni Gus ay natutunaw. That is because the heat from your hand is being transferred to the ice cream. And as I quote one of the greatest physicists, Einstein.
Rather than saying that there's a presence of cold, I believe that saying that there is an absence of heat is more appropriate and correct.
This simple sentence is enough to further explain that the ice cream in your hand is melting, not simply because the cold is being transferred to your hand, but because heat is being transferred from your hand to the ice cream. Okay, ganito na lang. Imagine a room without windows, but with only one door. Imagine that you're inside the room. Imagine that outside of that dark room is a place well lit and bright. Then imagine opening the door. Can you tell me what will happen next?
Magkakagulo sa'yo.
Exactly. Gus, naniniwala ka ba sa akin pag sinabi ko dito? Once nagduksan ko yung pintuan, didirin din sa labas ng room.
Hindi.
Exactly. Much like the cold, the dark doesn't flow. There's no such thing as the flow of the cold, but there's the flow of the heat. To further explain what's really happening, look at these illustration boards I have prepared. Solids turning to liquids is a process called melting. Now back to the topic. Imagine holding a tube made of tiny rubber balls held together by a string. Then in your head, imagine shaking and vibrating that tube. As you vibrate the cube, the force being used to hold the cube together loses itself, and after a while of continuous shaking of the cube, there will come a time where the forces being used to hold the cube together will lose its control, and the cube will no longer look like a cube. In the solid, the strong attractions between the particles hold them tightly packed together. Even though they are vibrating, this is not enough to disrupt the tensor of the solid. When a solid is heated, the particles gain energy and start to vibrate faster and faster. Initially, the structure is gradually weakened, which has the effect of expanding the solid. Although the particles are still loosely connected, they are able to move around. At this point, the solid is melted to form a liquid. The particles in the solid, except they have more energy. But wait, before I end this, I want to explain a fun fact. Did you know that ice is less dense than water? Which explains why ice floats when submerged in water.
Thank you for explaining to us. And thank you for making me a part of your wonderful experiment.
You're welcome, Gus.
Now, back to you, Ted.
Now, as you have seen, that Fake Way gave us a good explanation, but I have a feeling that Gus felt a bit annoyed about that experiment. But at least it wasn't me. Now, looking back at what Fake Way said, the heat from Gus' hand transferred to the ice cream, making it melt. It comes in as we talk about climate change, polar caps melt, making oceans rise, which in turn can result in mass migration, economic destruction, malnutrition, aquaculture failure, and infectious disease spread. A lot of lives can be harmed, but also a lot of lives can be saved if we do our part. Tutukan ng mga ikabusto din sa Litpang Squad o LFS News. Salamat po at magandang gabi. Bye!